Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm Flora Sage, your life coach, to help you create a life that you are super excited about. Today I want to share with you a story about a gentleman who owned a farm in Africa. And this was during a time where there was so many people striking it rich with gold mines and copper mines and silver mines and diamond mines. And this farmer was really frustrated because his farm was not the greatest. It didn't really thrive. All the crops that he planted were kind of half-assed. They never really were lush crops, no matter how much he fertilized the fields, no matter how much he worked the land. And so he changed his farm fields of produce to cattle, fields. And there was this one creek on his farm that the cattle were just kind of meh. They didn't really want to graze there. They didn't really want to feed there or drink the water there. And so one day he was, just kind of walking around the land, and he was feeling so depressed because he was hearing, sorry about that, I just got a phone call. So he was hearing about all these people who were really just finding and amassing these massive fortunes by finding and creating and having these diamond mines and copper mines and gold mines. And he was walking around his property, and he was walking past this little creek, and he found this stone, and he was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. And he kind of dusted it off and brought it home, and he put it on the mantle and forgot about it. And then again, his depression got the best of him of why does everybody else have these big diamond mines? Why does everybody have all this wealth, all these riches, all this cool stuff, and I don't? And he actually ended up dying from depression. And the new owner of the property walked into the home and saw this rock that was on the mantle still that the family didn't want. And he was like, oh my gosh. Now granted, he acquired this property at auction, so it was just barren, kind of just mediocre farmland. But when he saw that rock, he knew what it was. So he hired a team of people to scour and survey the land. They found the stream. He found one of the largest diamond mines in Africa. So, sorry about that. I just got kicked off my Wi-Fi. So, he found that he had one of the largest diamond mines in Africa. What would have happened to that initial farmer if he would have just taken the time to say, wow, all of my neighbors are finding diamonds on their property. Massive diamonds, okay? Other people in the area are having and creating and finding gold mines and all these other things. If he would have just stopped for a moment and said, wait a minute, if everybody else is finding all this stuff on their property, what's on mine? But he chose to die from despair of, oh, woe is me, everybody else has everything, I don't, yada yada. He even brought a giant diamond into his home and put it on his mantle. But he didn't know what to look for because he was so caught up in what everybody else had that he didn't realize what he was sitting on. And he literally was sitting on one of the world's biggest diamond mines. Huge. So I want you to think back to your life right now. How often do you look at everybody else's life and go, oh my God, they have all this and they have this and they have that, and oh, that must be fabulous and that must be nice and yada yada. But how often do you stop and look at what's in your life and what's in your environment and what's right beneath your feet? One of the things that I talk about with my 1 Degree Shift Tribe members is how obstacles are truly not obstacles. They're truly opportunities for you to look for a better way, to look for something else, to look for and wonder, I wonder what this opportunity, again, it's not an obstacle, I wonder what this opportunity has brought to me and for me. This is huge, huge. If you've never read the book, 3 Feet from Gold, Acres of Diamonds, or The Alchemist, or The Richest Man in Babylon, I highly recommend that you do so, because all of these books talk about hidden opportunities. They talk about, like, very quickly, 3 Feet from Gold, there was a gold miner who financed $200,000 of equipment and all this stuff to buy a mine and mine it. He found a tiny vein of gold and then it dried up. And he was like, ugh, whatever, I'm over it. And he sold all of his stuff for like pennies on the dollar to a junk man. The junk man knew he wasn't an expert at mining gold. So he hired an expert to come in, assess the mine, and tell him where to dig. And the dude was like, oh my God, like the dude, the expert said, keep digging and you will hit gold. And so he dug and he only had to dig 3 feet before he found a massive vein of gold worth billions of dollars. Now, the guy that originally owned the mine actually ended up being a CPA, and it took him years to pay off that $200,000 that he financed from all of his people. And he was like, oh my goodness. Now, he didn't get onto himself and was pissed. He was disappointed. However, he used that as a catalyst for him to never give up again. Never give up again. How many times have you given up on something in your life? Rebecca says, yes, you've changed my perspective when you ask me the opportunity in a situation when I'm stuck in a poor me mode. Yeah, it's so easy to get caught up in poor me. It's so easy. We are wired for negativity. We are wired to find threats. It is sometimes really freaking hard to find something to be positive about. And sometimes it's really freaking hard to find an opportunity. So what I want you to do, and what I recommend, is that you think about, what is something that I feel like giving up on right now in my life? It could be your business, it could be a relationship, it could be a diet, it could be whatever else in your life. Think about how long you have been struggling with this. And stop and ask yourself, what's the opportunity hidden in this situation? What's really the opportunity here? And I really want you to write it all out. Write it down. What is the opportunity? And sometimes you're going to be like, fuck no, there's no opportunity. I promise you there is. I promise you. Sit with it and just say, okay, this is what I've been struggling with. What's the opportunity in this? And this isn't easy. Trust me. I know. Trust me, I've been there. But when you can just pretend there's an opportunity. Okay, if there were an opportunity in this, what might it be? I don't know. Let's just write it down and see. And you might be surprised at what comes out. Typically, when I have my clients do this, they're like, oh shit, okay, all right, I'm seeing it, I'm feeling it. And what happens is you get out of that stuck energy, you get out of that lack energy, you get out of that poor me energy, and you start to go, wow, okay, so there really is a lesson here, or there really is an opportunity, or there really is something that I can do to move myself forward. And typically that's just looking at what you have in a different way. Now, when you look at it in a different way and you're like, fuck this, I don't want this, okay, perfect. Go for it, do something else. But if you look at it in a different way and go, wow, chances are you're gonna have a much greater appreciation for what you're going through and what you have gone through. And that appreciation and that gratitude and that wisdom held within this situation all of a sudden then shifts the way that you look at things. So then all of a sudden you're going to start to shift what you're getting. and you're gonna start to shift the actions that you start to take. And you're gonna start to shift the mindset that you have around what it is that you're doing. Again, the junk man knew he was not an expert. He knew what he was good at, but he also knew, he's like, I don't wanna waste my time. I wanna be more efficient with this. He hired an expert. And that expert said, keep digging, you're gonna hit gold. He's like, rock on. He didn't know if it was gonna be 2 inches or 2 miles, but he trusted the expert, and he only had to dig 3 feet until he hit a massive, massive gold vein worth billions of dollars at that time. Huge, huge. This is huge, people. This is the same thing in your life. So, what's the number one thing that you're struggling with right now that you feel like giving up on? Then, give yourself permission to look for the opportunity in whatever situation this is. And when you look for the opportunity, something is going to shift. And as I mentioned in my book, The 1 Degree Shift, you don't have to do a 90-degree shift, a 180-degree shift, even a 45-degree shift to change your life. All you have to do is shift just 1%, just that tiny little pivot. And doing this exercise is gonna help you pivot. And sometimes pivot a little more and a little more and a little more. Before you know it, you're gonna be going in a completely different direction that is of your doing, that you choose to go in. And it's gonna be so freaking empowering. You're gonna be like, fuck yeah, this feels awesome. Yes, I want more of this. So I hope that this has served you today. If you want continued support from me to you around the 1 Degree Shift concepts, around all the stuff in this book, around finding your acres of diamonds and your vein of gold, what I want you to do is click the link in the comments or in the description of this video or wherever it is that you're watching it, click the link and join me inside of the 1 Degree Shift tribe. Every single day I pop in there. We do coaching, we do support. This is not only support from myself, but this is also a peer support group. So you not only get my support, but you get the support of everybody else that's in the community. And a really cool thing that we're doing this week and next is we're doing a 10-day declutter challenge to help you declutter your environment so that you can have more space to create and manifest the life that you really truly want. So click the link in the comments or in the description, wherever it is on the page that you see this, and join us inside of the 1 Degree Shift tribe. I love you. I hope that this serves you today, and I will see you next week. Mwah.